What's happening, boxing fans? It's your boy, Pool Kind of Boxing, coming at you with another boxing video for the boxing heads and the boxing minds. Alright, if you have time, please smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you like my boxing hardcore content. I appreciate it. And we are going to get right into it. Okay? You know, we have a fight coming up with Jaron Boots Ennis versus Thomas Dulorme, right? So, if you don't know who Jaron Boots Ennis is, he's one of the most exciting fighters, welterweights, that we have out right now. He, he destroyed Sergey Lipinets, who was a step-up fight, and he's just one of those guys who's an exceptional athlete. Not to say that he don't have the boxing skills, because he does. He has everything. You know, when you watch him, he passes the same eye test that Terence Crawford passed. You know, with the fast hands, fast reflexes, fast combinations. He destroyed Chris Van Heerden way faster than Errol Spence Jr. did. Now, that's something to be said, because Chris Van Heerden is one of those journeyman-type fighters, but he's good, and he knows how to box. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? And he's smart. He has a high boxing IQ. He don't have a lot of athletic ability, but he knows what he's doing when he gets in the ring. And when I tell you, Boots Ennis, which that was a step-up fight for him at the time, he went straight to Van Heerden's ass. You know what I'm saying? He destroyed him, dismantled him he just opened up offensively, and he was just putting it on Van Heerden. He couldn't defend himself, and you could just see the wide gap in the talent between the two. And Boots was hitting him with everything. And in the first round, they clashed heads, and you could see Van Heerden, being a crafty veteran, set that up by, bouncing into the ropes and coming back out with his head, and it was ruled a no contest. So, Jaron Ennis has a lot to learn, because that was set up, to me, from what I saw in the fight, a way for Van Heerden to get out of that fight unscathed. So now the world knows what they're dealing with when they look at Jaron Boots Ennis, because his offense is, you're going to have to weather the storm to get through those combinations and those hooks that he throws. He has a unique way of throwing his hooks from down low, and he gets a lot of leverage. He gets a lot of leverage on his hooks. So he has 29 wins, and he has 25 KOs, and he has no losses. And he's 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. And he fought Sergey Lipinets in 2021, which was an ultimate step-up fight, because Sergey Lipinets, he's the type of come forward pressure fighter, and he's going to meet you in the middle of the ring. And he met Lipinets. Lipinets was pressing forward, and Chris just totally dismantled Sergey Lipinets like he wasn't nothing. His super speed, connecting with the jabs, the hooks, just destroying Sergey Lipinets' body, head. Lipinets couldn't defend himself. He was too slow, and Lipinets could take a beating. He could take a beating, but he got TKO'd in the 6th round. because he just couldn't. He was taking too many flush shots, and that's how Jaron Boots Ennis. That's how his offensive arsenal is. He throw punches in bunches, but he has the boxing skill to know when and where to place his shots. He has good shot placement, and when you look at him, you get to feel like he's almost like he has the athletic ability of like Roy Jones Jr., but then he got the hand speed, of like a Roy Jones Jr. and foot speed of a Roy Jones Jr. and he has the power of a Roy Jones Jr. And I'm just talking about the athletic side. Now, on the boxing IQ side, he knows how to how to parry and shoot, shoot and parry. He knows how to get out of the way of punches, and he knows how to use the ring. He knows when to get in, when to get out. His boxing IQ is already polished. He don't have a lot to learn because he's a natural. Some people have great boxing instincts. They have a gift, and Jaron Boots Ennis has that gift. He has a high boxing IQ, how to figure things out, how to break you down, and knows how to figure you out pretty fast. And it's scary for him to be this early in his career, and he's ready to fight for the top belts. He's ready to fight Errol Spence Jr., in my opinion, and Terence Crawford. I believe he has the ability to beat both of those guys. And with all the inactivity that they're facing, Jaron Boots Ennis is the hungrier fighter. He wants the recognition, and it's going to push him to stay sharp and stay on top. And if you look at how he beat Sergey Lipinets, he beat him like he wasn't even, like he shouldn't even be in a ring with him, right? And he broke him down so smooth, hitting him with those hooks and uppercuts and, just solid shots and moving, slipping punches. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. And it was almost like you was watching a pro versus an amateur. And it's just that Lipinets just didn't have the tools to deal with such an athlete and a talented boxer. And I was just hoping he went down so he didn't take any more punishment, because Boots was like really tattooing him, and he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't really touch it. Now he hit Boots with a good shot, a couple of good shots, but the man looked like the man could take a punch. You add a chin to Jaron Boots Ennis, and then you got a monster, because he just got so many gifts, and then he got so much boxing pedigree behind him that he's going to be a challenge for anybody in 147, 154, and even 160, because he's a big welterweight. And with him fighting Thomas Dulorme, Thomas Dulorme, he's 5'10", he has a 73-inch reach. He's 31. He's got 25 wins, 25 wins. He's got 5 losses, 1 draw, and he's got 16 KOs. He was knocked out twice. And of course, one of those knockouts was by Terence Crawford, and he went, he fought everybody. Thomas Dulorme, he's a veteran in the sport, but he's a journeyman also. But he's a damn good fighter. he's a damn good fighter. Now, don't get me wrong, because he fought Terence Crawford and he fought Ugas. He fought Jamal James and another journeyman, and he fought Eimantas Stanionis. So, he's fought some good people, and so he got a lot of good experience. And, he don't just go in there to lay down. Thomas Dulorme, he's got excellent boxing abilities. He's kind of like, he reminds me of Chris Hilden if he could move his feet more, type of fighter. If you watch Chris, he's good at everything, but he's not exceptional in anything. So he's that type of fighter. He don't have any special gifts, besides being a solid pro. He knows how to stay behind the jab. He knows how to move in the ring. It's just that he don't have that extra gear to excel over the elite fighters, who have the gifts, of power and speed and being able to time you and figure you out and stop you. He don't. That's not Thomas Dulorme. Thomas Dulorme is just a solid pro, and if you don't know what you're doing in the ring, he can cause you trouble. He can expose you. And we saw in Eimantas Stanionis, who is another up and coming fighter who just fought Collazo. He beat Thomas Dulorme by unanimous decision, but Thomas Dulorme gave Eimantas Stanionis a whole lot of problems, right? Because he's a solid fighter, and that would be a better fight, in my opinion, for Jaron Boots Ennis and Eimantas Stanionis, but they would not dare put a fighter on the rise and growing, against such a fighter as Jaron Boots Ennis. It's too dangerous for Jaron to fight Eimantas Stanionis at this point in his career, because Jaron Boots Ennis has just got too much going on, too many tools. He's too polished, and right now I believe he would destroy Eimantas Stanionis. So I think he knows that too. I don't think he's afraid of Jaron Boots Ennis, but I think if that fight was to happen, I think they know that Jaron Boots Ennis would just destroy him, because he moves he's got, his reflexes are too good, his athletic ability is too great, and Emmanuel Stanionis needs somebody to stand in front of him to be effective, to get off his power, and he was catching them but them hands if he was to corner Boots Ennis, and I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he will be able to beat Jaron Boots Ennis. But getting back to Thomas Dulorme, he's not going to be able to stick in there with Boots Ennis. Because he's an average fighter. Thomas Dulorme. Well, he's a little above a average fighter, but you're going to have to be spectacular to beat a Jaron Ennis. You're going to have to be spectacular. You're going to have to be Errol Spence and Crawford plus some to be able to beat him. And I'm not saying that he's better than Errol Spence Jr. or better than Terence Crawford, but he's up there. He's in that conversation with those champions. So you're going to have to put some respect on Jaron Boots Ennis' name, because he looks like that dude at 147. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get into the mix of fighting Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, but he should. And because right now he stands heads and shoulders above Virgil Ortiz, his class rivals. Virgil Ortiz wouldn't be able to beat him. Not right now. I think Virgil Ortiz is coming along pretty good, but I don't think he would beat he wouldn't be able to beat Jaron Ennis. And then you got to think about, Eimantas and Stanionis. He's not going to be able to beat him. So he stands out amongst his peers. And, with him finding, nobody wants to fight the man because he's so good. So, you look at Thomas Dulorme, he's just going to be another victim, another name on Jaron Boots' resume, and it's going to make it even harder for him to find a fight because they're going to see, the kind of skills and the kind of threat Jaron Boots Ennis is at 147, and it's just going to be hard for him, to crack that championship door unless he get mandated somehow. Unless he gets in one of these lines and get mandated, Terence Crawford isn't going to fight him. Errol Spence Jr. may not even fight him. So, but that's what I think about it. You know what I'm saying? Jaron Boots Ennis, he's going to destroy Thomas Dulorme probably within 2 to 3 rounds because Jaron Boots Ennis tends to start out fast, break you down fast, figure you out fast. Thomas Dulorme, good fighter, but he just don't have enough tools to weather the storm of Jaron Boots Ennis. And so that's what I think about it. And I appreciate you guys for listening and stopping by and checking out what I have to say about it. And this has been Pool Kind of Boxing. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for your boy. And I'll see you guys in the next one.